Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. All right, everyone, welcome back to Going Public. I'm Martin False. We have the CPRA chairman, Mr. Gordon Dove, former parish president of Terrebonne Parish, former state legislature. We could go on about him, but certainly he is in charge of a big budget and under the wishes of the governor here in the state of Louisiana. So, Mr. Chairman, good to see you.
Good to see you, Martin. You know, I want to let the public know that, of course, Governor Jeff Landry is 100% behind not only hurricane protection, but hurricane protection along with coastal restoration, barrier islands with segmented breakwater rocks. So we really got a robust program going on.
I love the way y'all do. You and Debbie work hard on these presentations. They're very easy to follow. You have one. So I want to jump in it because you have so many projects in so many different parishes, which are in our viewing area. So I'm sure a lot of people are curious what you've been up to, and that's quite a bit.
Right, Martin. This is some of them. And of course, we had Hurricane Francine recovery. And, you know, of course, as everyone knows, we had as much as 11 foot of a storm surge in coming towards Terrebonne Parish, and our levee system, and of course, thanks to Tony Alford and Angela Raines and the levee board, was instrumental in holding back 11 foot of water.
No doubt.
Of course, we all worked 20 years putting it together, and actually 15 years of construction, so very successful. And Governor Jeff Landry, I was on the response team in Baton Rouge with the governor, and he was on top of it every step of the way, which is called the Unified Command Center. And of course, we were in helicopters the next day.
Let's bring that picture up, Jay, if we can, and we'll follow along with Mr. Dove. There you go, right there.
And we saw the needs for other parishes, you know, like Lafourche and Terrebonne. You know, Terrebonne, we still have a lot of things to do here at St. Mary and St. Charles and other parishes. So, we were in helicopters with the colonel, but also with Major General Peoples. So there are a lot of eyes on Morganza. You know, Morganza is going to be sort of the model for the United States on what local government and state government can do to hold back storm surges.
From what I'm hearing, it's not going to be sort of the model. It is the model.
It is the model. That's correct. They're going to use us as a model. The people of Terrebonne tax themselves 3/4 cent sales tax plus millages. So did Lafourche and other parishes.
I like the next slide. It brings everything here in the Thibodaux at the Nichols Coastal Center. Talk about that a little bit.
That's 40,000 square foot. Funded by the state of Louisiana. It's going to be operated by Nichols State. We've been working with the Chancellor, Jay Clune. CPRA is going to have 5,000 square foot of offices in this building, and we'll be operating out of this building along with Baton Rouge, of course. Of course, we have offices in other parishes.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And it should be finished in the January of next year.
All right. So you have your updating on your fiscal year 2025 annual plan.
We're working on the annual plan as we speak. We're operating off the 2023 master plan, which will be renewed in 2026. But every year we put an annual plan in, and of course the parishes in your listening area have quite a few projects.
You got 109 active projects that we see on the next slide. That's incredible.
Right. We have hurricane protection, marsh creation, bank stabilization, ridge restoration, shoreline protection, barrier islands, headland, diversions, hydrologic restoration, and we have some recreational stuff. some recreational projects.
Yeah.
And then
Well, look at that next slide that shows breaks it down. Look at the
16 new construction starts, $3+ billion, 10,000 acres of wetland benefited, 15 million cubic yards pumped, 10 projects completed at 118 million, 11 miles of levees. And that's probably more than 11 miles because Morganza's been lifting their levees to 15 feet. The next one is the Morganza lock system groundbreaking. The governor was there, huge for Terrebonne Parish. It's actually a $400 million lock system, which would no longer allow salt water from coming up north into Terrebonne Parish. As parish president, I built 2 lock systems, one in Chauvin, one in below Montague. This will be the 3rd one. Of course, this is the big one. This is the linchpin.
Well, we came a long way from Governor Blanco bringing 10 million, huh?
Right, and the grants, out of the grants on the next one, 163 million in grants was for the Houma Navigation Canal, and then 130 million is for the Maurepas Swamp Project, and 14 million is for Lake Leary marsh creation. So, as you can see, the Houma Navigation Lock System got the largest Restore grant ever in the history of the Restore grant.
That's
and that's due to a lot of people working hard. And just some quick projects around the state. Lakeborn marsh creation, we're recreating 3,000 acres. La Branch, near Lake Charles, we're creating quite a bit of acreage there. That's in St. Charles Parish. And that's the marsh creations in Spanish Pass. The next one, and I'm going to go a little, there's a lot of slides, so if I'm going too fast, please slow me down.
Let's do this. We'll take our first break. We'll come back and we'll reload and let you run through them real quick. But we'll take a break. We'll be right back with the CPRA chairman, Mr. Gordon Dove. Don't go away. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights. We are back with the CPRA chairman, Gordon Dove. We're talking about a comprehensive plan in a lot of parishes in our viewing area. So let's listen in. Let's go back to Spanish Pass if we can.
Yeah, and this is in Plaquemines. This is south of Plaquemines. The only reason I want to show you this is this was a land bridge just completed, 1,500 acres, right west of Venice. You see that blue dot out there? That's an automobile. In other words, the President Hinckley drove out to there a couple of months back, and it just shows that used to be water. It's all land now. The maps hadn't picked it up yet. Yep. That's why I believe in sediment pipeline. It's quick. Mm-hmm. So that's just okay. Also, Sycamore State Park, we just completed this. It's got boardwalk. This is really a real nice project. Conference stations, RV tie-ins, a beach, and a canal with rocks. And that's Sycamore Point, which isn't very far from here.
That's
about
nice.
40 miles. That's real nice if anyone wants to visit it.
Yeah.
And we had Coastal Day, and of course,
fun.
That's a big event in Baton Rouge where we promote coastal restoration, hurricane protection. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, Amendment 1 passed. And what that does is if they ever have alternative energy offshore, like windmills or what have you, then the money goes to coastal restoration. And that's a big plus because if it's passed, there's a good chance we could increase our percentage of the oil royalties offshore. Yeah. That's one of the main things about this.
So that'll keep you funded for a long time.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow we have the Maurepas Swamp, and it's a 2,000 CFS diversion. See, boy, it's good to do small. This is a small diversion. You'll run this about 800, 900 CFS, and it's just to put fresh water in there and not shock the ecosystem. So a little bit of Mississippi water can be very useful if as a tool.
If regulated.
If regulated, just
Yeah.
be careful how much you're going to put into your estuaries.
Right.
Then another thing, if people ever get up to Baton Rouge, next door to the CPRA building is really the LSU Center for River Studies, which is operated and funded by us, which is really good about really very informative about the ecosystems and coastal restoration.
So y'all been doing a lot of education too along the way.
Yes, sir. That's part of our plan. That's always been part of it, to educate the
That's
people.
great. They need to know.
Then Morganza, Tony Alford, and Angela and the levee board has been lifting reaches. You know, from Cocodrie to the Bubba Dub floodgate is now 15 feet. Parts of the Lodge are 15 feet, and we're going up with more and more to 15 feet. And so the levees are being lifted actually expeditiously. This is the projects that in our administration we're moving forward with. Fouchon segmented breakwater rocks, 5.5 miles. East Timberlake Island, we're going to rebuild East Timberlake Island with segmented breakwater rocks, and the Cassie Tet Islands, which is behind them, Wine Island, Marsh Island, White Lake, Barataria Land Bridge, that's over in the Barataria area. This is all on the master plan. Barataria Bay, Vermilion, New Iberia, levee and floodgates, Rockefeller Extension, Grand Isle, we're going to finish the rocks in Grand Isle. North side of Grand Isle, we're putting levees and pump stations because they flood from the back. Empire Lock Systems, Bayou des Allemands. We're presently in the trying to do a $90 million funding of the floodgate, and that'll help protect Kramer, St. Charles, Lafourche Parish, and Choctaw, which is devastated every time a hurricane hits there. And we're working with the Morganza levee system, of course, and then the Lafourche levee from the intercoastal north, where they had that mud that rolled in for Ida. We're in the Chandelier Islands. We're working with other federal agencies for 13.5 miles. And so we've got pictures of that as I go. And so we're going to go to the next one is the Barry Island chain. That's our goal in Terrebonne, Lafourche. But that's Raccoon Island, just to show you how successful it's been. That's after the hurricanes, it's rebuilt itself. We had worked on one of the goals. Now, we're not on the engineering on this, but we have engineered some of it, is breakwaters on Whiskey Island. And I just want to show that. Trinity Island, about 3 years ago under my administration, we rebuilt a big section of Trinity. And then a restoration of Wine Island. Okay, that is complete rebuild of Wine Island, which, as you know, has disappeared for that little sliver. That's right at Cat Island Pass, and we're gonna rework the passes to try to choke them down as much as engineering and humanly possible. Wine Island has been gone. This is an island that should have been rebuilt years ago, and of course, we're gonna work on Wine Island Pass, which ties into Trinity.
Means we can sit in the passes again and catch some bull reds.
And hopefully see each side of it.
Yeah.
That's just some pictures of Wine Island. As you can see, it's gone.
Yeah.
That's one of our priorities. In the Timberlake Island, we did do some work under my administration in 2022, but we actually have some FEMA engineering going on this, because here's East Timberlake Island, what I was talking about. You could see East Timberlake Island in 2013.
Yeah.
2013, 2010, and look at it today, the next slide.
Before we take a break, I have helicopter shots of all that.
Look,
through
that's
the
what's
years.
left, Martin.
Yeah, you did a
We
great
got
job.
to get on this island, and that is under engineering and design.
All right, let's do this. We'll take a break. We'll come back with segment 3. Mr. Gordon Dove, the chairman of the CPRA, and they have a big budget, around $2 billion. They got projects going on all over the place. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. All right, we're back with the CPRA chairman, Mr. Gordon Dove, who serves under the new governor, Jeff Landry, and they're doing a great job. Let's go back to, I want to show them East Timberlake. It's impressive. But is that island shifting?
That island was actually washed on, that platform was on the north side of the island, and Ida moved it behind it because it wasn't rebuilt. It should have been rebuilt in 2017 when the plans were finished on it. And of course, we're moving forward. We're trying to get it out to bid as quick as possible. And actually, East Timberlake Island is in Lafourche Parish, but it protects Terrebonne and naturally the Terrebonne Bay, along with Lafourche Parish and Lafourche Parish, south of Lafourche. Very important to our economy is the Port Fourchon. This is Port Fourchon. We're going to build 5.5 miles of rocks. We're going to try to put them at 8 feet above sea level from West Bell Pass to the east to protect Fourchon against hurricane. Because when you're protecting that, you're protecting Loop, which is where the nation's oil comes in, imported oil. And there's the booster pump that's at Fourchon. So you're protecting a lot. Besides, you're protecting $4 to $5 billion worth of infrastructure for oil and gas, the energy port. So this is vital important, and we're all going to do 5.5 miles of rocks, similar to what you see in there, but that's Grand Isle right there. That's Chenier, Camp Carmelita. Let me show you this picture of Grand Isle after Hurricane Ida is the next picture. See how bad it was? It was torn up? Yeah. Wherever you had rocks, they didn't have this kind of damage. Right. And then if you keep going, you can see that the Corps has done a wonderful job in restoring that. You know, we've worked with them, but it's the Corps' job, and it was done with federal monies and on a restoration. And now look at the next slide. Is the east end of the island. It didn't bother the east end of the island. Mm-hmm. Look, this is post-Ida. Yeah. It didn't bother. Look, the rocks out there. Yeah. Just truly amazing. And the next slide, same thing. And this is the slides on the west end after Hurricane Ida. You can see it's fine. I mean, I don't know what kind of proof they need. But anyway, we are finishing the rocks on Grand Isle, so that's going to happen.
The mayor's going to be happy.
He's very happy. And look, David Cormerdale, there's not a guy that fights harder for that, and his council. And, of course, the governor is 100% behind all these projects. Yeah. And if we keep going, Grand Isle, you can see how good they work. That's as of right now, present day. Yeah. And then, just some other stuff. Marsh Island, which is out to the west. That's a big reserve that's owned by the Wildlife and Fisheries. And then we also, now we're going to also do the land bridge I spoke about earlier in Barataria. So we're not, even though, there's a big controversy on the diversions, we're moving forward with the land bridge. That's a 23.5-mile land bridge from Plaquemines to Lafourche Parish. And also with long-distance pipeline sediment pumping. And then we also working with Iberia, Vermilion, and St. Mary on building a levee from Vermilion all the way to St. Mary and tie in. If you look at the next one, it's got 2 floodgates. They have no levee system in Vermilion and Iberia. They do have some in St. Mary. This is the Rockefeller shoreline that was done. You can see if you just flip through those, it's quite good. Now, this is the Desalmens floodgate. This is huge for Terrebonne, for Lafourche and St. Charles, Kramer, Choctaw, actually Shack Bay, my wife corrects me all the time, Shack Bay. Yeah. And this is being engineered, engineering just about complete with it. And we're putting together the $90 million for the funding of it. That's a 250-foot gate. And also the Chandelier Islands all the way to our east. to show you that how large the Chandelier Island is at the back. Look at Grand Isle, look at Whiskey, and look at West Grand Terre. It's a very large island.
And we'll get Jason just to roll through them sort of quick so you can get these on the show. I want people to see what you have here.
Yeah, and then final in Terrebonne Parish, the H&C Bird Island off the Houma Navigation Canal, and it's an environmental bird sanctuary right off when you get into Terrebonne Bay to your east.
Okay.
And this is about a $30 million project, and it's got rocks. This is one of the environmental projects that for a bird sanctuary, and then then you can see the containment dikes if you keep flipping. I know we're running out of time, and then the last but not least is we're working on this. We're trying to go to engineering with this. Is the Chafalaya River long distance sediment pipeline. This is what will rebuild Terrebonne Parish. You can see when we will rebuild all the way to the east, central, and that's where we would get the fill is Horseshoe Bend and Crew Boat cut off the Chafalaya. That's just pumping mud with water through a 32-inch pipe. That just says how much you got. You can see the pipeline. It's pipeline through, and where you got red is where you would fill in. And this is just the different diversions that are off the Mississippi River. And I think that's.
I'll tell you what, we got about 30 seconds. This is impressive stuff. We got to get you in and keep giving us updates on this. Congratulations. The governor put the right guy in charge. We're proud of you. Thank you for doing that. Keep us posted on this.
Well, Martin, look, I'm all about projects just like Terrebonne Parish. We've built $1.3 billion just in Terrebonne, and we're going to continue building. If we don't know what to build by now after all these years, shame on us. We know what to build, and we're going to move forward, and I want to thank Jeff Landry for getting behind me to move forward.
All right, the CPRA chairman. There you go, Gordon Dove. We'll have him on another show. Thanks for joining us. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.